What is going on, Blue Jays Nation? Welcome back to another edition of the Blue Jays Report. I'm your host, and man, do we have a lot to talk about today. Grab your coffee, grab your Tim Hortons, because opening day is just around the corner, and the Blue Jays are making massive roster moves. We are officially in the thick of March 2026. The snow is starting to melt, the dome at the Rogers Center is getting primed, and the AL East battle is looming large. But before we look completely forward to our postseason push, we need to look back at a move that is heavily dictating our current reality. The current front office, led by GM Ross Atkins and President Mark Shapiro, is absolutely no stranger to controversial trades. We saw it with Teoscar Hernandez. We saw it when they shipped top prospect Gabriel Moreno to Arizona for Dalton Varsho. They make bold bets. But looking at the roster moves today and the state of our infield, there is one trade from December 2024 that is haunting this franchise. Yes, we are talking about the Andrés Giménez and Nick Sandlin deal. Let's break down exactly what went wrong, what it means for our 2026 opening day lineup, and how we navigate this AL East gauntlet. Let's get into it. All right, let's get under the hood of this roster. Every Jays fan knows that building a championship team requires taking risks. But the Giménez trade is looking like a massive miscalculation. Let's start with the secondary piece, Nick Sandlin. He was supposed to be the anchor in the middle of our bullpen. Instead, he made just 19 appearances in 2025 before injuries completely derailed his season, leading to his release this past November. It's a shame because when he was healthy, he looked sharp, but you can't rely on what-ifs in the big leagues. But Sandlin wasn't the centerpiece. Andrés Giménez was. And acquiring him was a monumental risk given his offensive profile and that massive contract. We are paying him roughly $15 million a season through 2029. The front office looked at his .638 OPS in 2023 and somehow convinced themselves that his bat would catch up to his world-class, platinum glove caliber defense. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In 2025, despite the team having overall success and almost everyone else bouncing back under our new hitting coach David Popkins, Giménez completely flatlined. He slashed an abysmal .210, .285, .313 over 101 games. Those are the worst numbers of his career. Sure, his expected batting average of .252 suggests some positive regression might be coming in 2026, but the underlying metrics are terrifying. He isn't barreling up the baseball, and his hard hit rate is practically non-existent. At best, we are looking at a singles hitter with a sub-700 OPS. And what makes this sting even more is the prospect watch. We gave up Spencer Horwitz in this deal. Horwitz was flipped to the Pittsburgh Pirates, where he hit 11 home runs, 26 doubles, and posted a .787 OPS in 2025. He is a legitimate MLB quality bat. We could have had Horwitz at second base and Ernie Clement at short. Speaking of our young guys and spring training cuts, we recently saw some moves sending guys like Arjun Nimala and Jonathan Clace down to the minors. In my opinion, this prospect needs more time in Buffalo. But it just highlights how desperate we are for homegrown infield depth right now because of trades like the Giménez one. So, where does this leave our lineup as we head into opening day? We all know the real reason Atkins traded for Giménez. It wasn't to hit cleanup, even though they bizarrely tried that for a few games last April. They brought him in as an insurance policy, a world-class defender who could slide over to shortstop just in case Bo Bichette walked in free agency. Well, Bo walked. And that is the hardest pill to swallow. Did having Giménez on the roster make the front office complacent? If we didn't have that $15 million tied up in Giménez, would Atkins and Shapiro have been more aggressive in keeping Bo in Toronto? It's a question that will haunt Blue Jays Nation for years. But we have to play the hand we are dealt. Looking at the 2026 lineup, Giménez is our guy up the middle. His defense will save runs, especially behind our pitching staff. Speaking of the rotation, we have veterans like Kevin Gausman ready to lead the charge, and the addition of Dylan Cease gives us one of the most terrifying 1-2 punches in the American League. Offensively, we are going to need our veterans to carry the load. George Springer needs to set the tone at the top of the order, and we need massive production from our new international star, Kazuma Okamoto. If Okamoto can provide that middle-of-the-order thump, It might just hide the black hole at the bottom of the lineup where Giménez is hitting. In a brutal AL East battle against the Yankees and Orioles, you cannot afford to have automatic outs in your lineup. Giménez has to find a way to get on base, even if it's just drawing walks or slapping the ball the other way. Now, let's talk about the vibe in the city. If you tune into Sportsnet or listen to TSN on your morning commute, the media pulse is highly critical of this front office right now. The Toronto media is not letting Ross Atkins off the hook for the Horwitz-Giménez swap. And the fans? Blue Jays Nation is frustrated. The weight of playing at the Rogers Center is heavy. Toronto fans are smart, they understand baseball, and they know that paying $15 million a year for a 210 hitter is bad business, no matter how many diving plays he makes in the shift. But is the optimism for 2026 real? Surprisingly, yes. Despite the anger over the Bichette departure and the Giménez contract, fans are incredibly hyped about the rotation. The Cease acquisition and the arrival of Okamoto have injected a lot of life into this fanbase. The consensus seems to be, we don't love how the front office built the infield, but this team still has the talent to make a deep postseason push. The margin for error is just incredibly thin. So here is my final verdict. Was the Giménez trade a mistake? Yes. Hindsight is 20/20, but giving up a major league bat like Spencer Horwitz for an offensively regressing player on a massive contract was a misstep. I highly doubt Atkins and Shapiro would make that trade again if they had a time machine. However, Andrés Giménez is a Toronto Blue Jay. He is wearing our laundry, and his glove is going to win us baseball games this year. If he can just bump that OPS up to 700 with his elite defense, he can still be a valuable piece of a championship puzzle. We have to get behind him. But I want to hear from you. Do you think Giménez can bounce back at the plate this year? Or is this contract going to sink our championship window? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you comment, "Go Jays," so I know you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more daily Blue Jays content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Opening day is almost here, folks. Let's get the dome rocking. I'll see you in the next one.